Hey everybody, Mookie here, and if you absolutely have to buy a Nissan, if you absolutely feel like you have to buy a Nissan, if you really want a Nissan, here's the only ones that you should be purchasing. Starting off real good with anybody's first car you keep it for 10, 20 years until the wheels fall off. Beautiful, amazing first car. 1992 Nissan Sentra SER. It's just a classic boxy 90s style. It's a great looking vehicle without even knowing that it's actually a Nissan, because it's kind of got this early Corolla, late 89, 91 Corolla kind of style body. Really boxy, very sporty looking, without having to even know that it's a Sentra. Especially with this Sentra, if you debadge it, you just keep it clean, maybe a little low, keep it as OEM as possible. You could probably put some other Nissan wheels on it to make it look pretty crisp, pretty clean. There's some like OEM wheels from like maybe 2099 that would look really good on it. They're really small wheels. You could probably get them off an Ultimo or a Sentra at the same time. Could do a brake retrofit to make it more reliable. It could probably fit any K-Series engine from a Honda so that you can actually make it in turn more reliable and make the car last longer, as opposed to buying it's like a $30,000 for a new Nissan Sentra. Well, between 22 and about 30,000 depending on what trim you get, after incentives, or not incentives, more like decentives, after like addendum, you know, all that dealer markup crap. So it's like you could get that 92 for about 5,000 to 6,000 for a really good in shape one, and then it'll only cost you maybe another 4,000 if the motor breaks to get it. So altogether you're spending about $11,000 to $12,000 maintenance, new motor if you have to get one. If you want a case swap it for like a Honda motor to keep it more reliable, that's costing you way less than even a brand new Nissan Versa, which starts at like $15,000. That's still like $46,000 less with no interest because you didn't finance a vehicle. Second Nissan to buy, if you absolutely have to buy one. I don't even know why I'm doing this one first, because I'm doing the ones I hate first. That's why I hate Nissan. I don't want to buy a Nissan, but if you have to. Second one, so we talked about your starter car, you know, your first ever car, you bought it cash, and you should keep it just forever, because it just doesn't make sense to buy a new car now. But if you have to change cars, your lifestyle inflates, you have to get a better vehicle, you have to go like, well, you know what, I need a little bit more room, now I got a girlfriend, you know, she's gonna like that old, like, you know, Japanese looking garbage can, or hey, you know what, I actually need a second car, I need one for work. Leads me right into my point. Pretty much any Frontier, they look exactly the same. Just get one that's under 100,000 miles. Get one that is probably after 04. You should more than likely can. You get one after 04 because you don't want one that's like 20 plus years old of the Frontiers. So under 100,000 miles, after 04, 05. And you want to pretty much, you just clean it up. You know, you're gonna spend about $11,000, $12,000 as opposed to $40,000 for a brand new Frontier or any brand new truck. You get a Toyota, it's gonna be 40 or 50 grand. You get a Honda Ridgeline, it's gonna be $45,000. You get a freaking the Santa Cruz Hyundai little gay truck or whatever it is, it's gonna cost you about $35,000. There's no point to that. Just get any of those years Frontiers. 2010 Frontier, beautiful, done, 15 grand. You're in and out, and that car will just beat the earth until the day that, you know, God comes back. Like it's really not gonna be that big of a deal. It's a good enough looking truck to where if you just, you know, just like you wrap it or you just clean it up, whatever the original paint it has on the Frontier, you can make it look fine. You can make it look shiny. You just go to a good detailer, they can restore the paint for you, get all the defects, get all the dirt out, as long as there's no clear coat damage, all that good stuff. You put it on some Hello tires, you put it on some 1552s, it'll look perfectly fine, because every year Frontier tires or wheels look like garbage. The interior looks like trash, but that's fine. You can get car, you know, seat covers. You could get it reupholstered for less than it would cost you to get a new vehicle. It'll honestly look fine. And if you really want to like go off-roading, this, that, and the next thing, you're like, oh, but I want to overland build it with the Frontier, who cares? Build it with Frontier, get a snug top on the back, the 10 on the top, put some mud tires on it, you will be perfectly fine. You're not going to twist an axle like you would in a Silverado that you did the same thing with. I'm going to be honest with you. Third up, and maybe the last one on the list. I'll do like an extra one, but third up on the list, and your lifestyle really inflates it. You're still like, oh, but I really like Nissan. Like, I had my SER, I have my Frontier that I use for my personal stuff for work, but I'm like, I have a wife, I have kids, I need to haul around all these ungrateful leeches that just take away all the hard-earned money that I've ever had, and the only thing respect that I get back is back talk. But if you and again, you're still gunning this Nissan train, get a Nissan Pathfinder. Get a, I personally don't really like the Nissan Pathfinder because it uses the same 6-cylinder engine that they all use. It's the same garbage V6. Stay away from the Altima. It's not a family car. Stay away from the Rogue. It's not a reliable car. Stay away from the Armada. It's too much car. You don't need that much car. It's too much. There's too much that could go wrong with an Armada. Get a Pathfinder. It's the sweet spot in between. It's the sweet nectar, the sweet juice. Because if you option out a Pathfinder, you find a used one, I'd say 2013 to 2016, I want to say, is kind of, I think they're around the similar body style, same trim, and it's the same interior, so it's like, it doesn't really matter what year you get, you just want to go low miles, because everything on between like a 2013, 2014, all the way to a 2016, maybe 2018 Pathfinder, depending on when they did the refresh, when they did the changeover, you could find for, number one, you could find it for probably under 30,000, maybe under 20, if you're willing to go to like 50, 60,000 miles, which is fine for a Pathfinder. I'm just gonna tell you that right now. Fine, just, take it to your mechanic, get it looked at. But a lot of parts are out there for you to kind of really update things. Like if the infotainment looks dated, because they use the same infotainment system from 2009 all the way to 2023, I'll prove it. I'll make another video. I'll prove it to you. But if you want updated headlights, there's HID upgrades, LED upgrades for $100, $200 max. You could always, if you don't like the color of the cautionaries or the rear tail lights or whatever, tint them. It costs you 30 to 60 bucks to tint them, to get a film over it, to black out the headlights or tail lights. If you don't like the headliner, you take it to any upholstery shop, they'll put a black headliner on, because most of them have like this cream or this white grayish headliner over the top. You don't want that. Everything in that Pathfinder is customizable from either another Nissan or from somebody who's already created like a whole brand around these. For some reason, there's this cult following behind cars that don't run well in the Nissan community. So it's like, I think that there's a Pathfinder steering wheel that you could change from like another different vehicle. If you want like a carbon fiber Pathfinder steering wheel, you could put infinity seats if you want better leather, if you want black leather, refreshed leather. You don't even have to take it to a upholstery shop. You just get them off of a crashed Infinity. You throw those bad boys in there, because a crashed Infinity QX55 or QX50, QX60, and you could throw all that interior on it for pennies on the dollar, and you didn't have to pay for an Infinity, and it looks fine. Black out the entire thing, limo tint, black paint or a black wrap for about like $1,100, and even then you're still under the $40,000 price tag and point of entry that it costs you to get a used Infinity, which is the better looking of the Nissan. I guess if you think it's better looking, it looks exactly the same. And now we're coming up into retirement. We're coming up into the tail end of your lifespan, and you're just like, you know what, man, my Nissans have served me so well. They won't, but you really wanted a Nissan, so we had to talk about it. So you're like, the Sentra, it was cool, it was nice, I was single, I was running around with the boys, it was going hot and heavy and fast. The Frontier, I started my career, I started my job, it really pulled, it really just came in for me. It was my weekend beater, it pulled everything I needed. It put my lawnmower in the back, it took care of everything. I started to have 3 to 6 kids, so I went ahead and got myself a Pathfinder. I made it look all slick and clean, so that's why when I pulled up to the spot, nobody was questioning like whether I had a nice car, a new car, or an old car. They're just like, man, his family vehicle, it's pretty sweet, like it looks nice, or at least looks decent. It's like, oh wait, that's a Pathfinder. It's like, yeah, it is a Pathfinder. I just put a little elbow grease into it, so I didn't have to pay $70,000 for the same Pathfinder, but labeled as a 2023 Infinity. And now you're looking to retire, your kids are all out of the house, your wife, you stop caring if she disagrees with you, because at the end of the day, it's your money. What's she gonna do? Leave? You're 50, she's probably 53. Where's she gonna go? What job? You spent the whole time raising the kids. Where are you gonna go? So now you're gonna be like, I'm gonna take every last penny of our retirement fund, and I'm gonna get myself a GTR Skyline. That's what I'm gonna get.
Nice.
It's beautiful out the box the way it is. You import it from Japan. It probably has 40 to 50,000 miles because I believe that there's like a smog thing or some kind of like emissions thing to where they don't allow you to own a car past like 50 or 80,000 miles, whatever it is. But the imports are always best. So now you have a right-hand drive beauty to sail yourself off into the sunset, because that's the only Nissan I could ever truly endorse getting, would be a GTR Skyline. And now, you know, that wraps it up for your Nissan lifestyle. So don't buy a Nissan, but if you have to, these are the best recommendations for you. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, but mostly to subscribe so that we can stop being sad and live in this car, because soon I'm gonna have to buy a Nissan to live in. Goodbye.